Welcome to the Unwashed Asses, episode 131, recorded on a rather dreary Monday, October 21st, 2019. Oh, never mind, that was a fib. I see a tiny speck of blue in the hole in the clouds. Otherwise, it has been non-stop. Not pounding, but definitely a heavy rain today. That kind of autumn rain where it signals that winter's on its way, and it's a good day to sit inside with, nice hot beverage, be it tea or coffee or hot chocolate, and a big oversized sweater, and just read and enjoy. But instead, I'm out working and gonna have to be outside in the next hour. So in the meantime, you've got me sitting in my truck. Yeah, sorry, I disappeared for another week there. Life has just been crazy busy, as I had alluded to last episode, and the trains just kind of kept on rolling. Last week went down to my mom's house. We painted the kitchen. I was forced to reconcile the fact that I have not had to paint a room since middle school, maybe high school, when we did the living room at the old house. So it was a bit of a learning experience, but went a lot better than I thought. I guess you just go to your local paint store, seek the guidance of the professionals, and everything just kind of works out. Everything coated well. We only had to do the one coat. Came out looking really, really nice. But it was one of those things where, my mom lives several hours away, so we burned up a weekend driving down there, painting, hanging out a bit, and then coming back home. So we had that, and then this past weekend we had the trunk or treat for my son, which that's going to be the crux for today. So trunk or treat, for those not aware, is a new way of celebrating Halloween, where instead of having kids, dress up and go door to door on the day of Halloween, they will pick a weekend day, Saturday or a Sunday, during the day. In this case, hours were 1 to 3, in a parking lot, and everybody just goes there, parks, and the idea is that you decorate your trunk into something spooky, and the kids walk around and say trunk or treat instead of trick or treat, and you give them candy. It's all safe, it's happy, and everybody goes home after a couple hours of fun. So this was the first year that my boy's school had been doing it, and so they sent out the flyer, and we're like, of course, love Halloween. I'll sign up for this, even though I don't agree with it, because in general, I still believe that you should be able to get dressed up on Halloween, go out during sunset or at night and go trick-or-treating. And I understand there's this big outcry and panic for just, won't somebody please think of the children and safety? But statistically, we're safer now than we ever have been before. And as long as you exercise, good judgment, carry a flashlight. Don't go to sketchy neighborhoods. Don't go knock on doors where the outside light isn't lit up. Just, if you're smart, you'll be fine. Or, just stay in a good neighborhood. But everybody's moving towards this pattern of, no, we don't want our kids out at night, so we don't just celebrate Halloween actually on Halloween, and then we don't want you going door to door any longer. So I'm happy to say, at least in the city I live in, they're still doing Halloween on Halloween, and I get my boy that day, so it'd be exciting to get dressed up for second time in a month and go trick-or-treating, and this time I don't have to stand there and hand out candy. I can go out there with them. So the trunk or treat was fun in that we got to decorate the car, and I will say it is middle of October, starting to get into the back half of it. Insanely hard to find Halloween decorations. I went to a Michael's, went to Hobby Lobby, even like Target, which surprisingly has had the best selection amongst all three of those stores. I kid you not, there were 3 times as many Christmas decorations up already as there were Halloween. Like, I get it. It's a little late in the season. You've already ordered your Halloween stock. You're not going to re-up on it. Whoever bought it's bought it, and whatever's left is left. But what if, you're in my situation? You're like, oh, hey, I'm going to throw a Halloween party. It's not towards the end of the month. I don't think I need to go out and buy everything now a month and a half in advance. I'm going to wait, a couple weeks before, and then I'll go get it. Good luck, because there are no fucking Halloween decorations to be found anywhere. It was a shit show. Thankfully, I was able to get, crafty enough, and oh, holy cow, I found out that fabric is dangerous with me. Went to the Hobby Lobby, and like, okay, there's no Halloween decorations, because Christmas is encroaching well outside of its month. It's already crossed the threshold of Halloween. Halloween was like the last bastion. Thanksgiving never stood a chance, and there's nothing between Christmas and the rest of the year except for Halloween. And now it looks like Halloween has even lost, because there's just more Christmas shit than there is Halloween, and it's not even Halloween yet. It's just sad. Even one of the asshole families decorated their car Christmassy. Like, go fuck yourself. It's Halloween. Gotta be spooky. So, I digress. Hobby Lobby had this amazing fabric sale going on. I'm like, okay, well, I can do this like creepy Victorian gothic theme with, because I've got an SUV, so we'll just lift up the back hatch. We'll do like curtains, like an old haunted opera house, and got like a trunk, like an actual trunk, and we'll put the candy in that, keep it open, and get some antique looking lanterns and throw some candles in there, and just really kind of do it like a classical horror instead of the schlocky, oh, let me get this plastic Frankenstein and set them up here, and all the stuff you normally get at a store, which is all well and good. I'm like, let's try and class it up a bit. So fabric was on a crazy good sale, and I was texting my lovely fiance. I'm like, oh, hey, what's my budget for this? Because I realized very quickly, like, fabric alone is $50, despite it being upwards of 70% off. Which, holy shit, fabric it's super expensive. But it's like, all right, I have this vision. I know what I want to execute, but I don't want to spend too much, or like, I don't know what a reasonable amount of money is. And so there was some negotiation on that, and a little over $100. I think it came out extremely well. So we decorate the car, get our costumes ready, and go set up at the trunk or treat. And I will say this, if you ever have to do it yourself, try to account for the weather. So in our case, it was a beautiful day, but it was very gusty, like not necessarily a constant wind, but every now and then it would kick up. And in our case, everything worked well in a dry run, in an enclosed garage. But when you get outside with the wind, electrical tape is your friend if you have to attach anything to the car. It peels off nicely. There's no residue, but you just might have to use a lot of it if your car isn't, sparkling clean, if there's a little bit of dirt on there. But it did the trick. So we got set up, and then, I was worried going into it, like, oh, did I not decorate well enough? What are we looking at? Because again, it's their first year. I've never done a trunk or treat. There's going to be a lot of families, and bear in mind where it's happening is a more rural part of a very rural state, so a lot of backwoods redneck type folks, and what I was bringing to the table is definitely not in their wheelhouse. And I will admit I was very pleasantly surprised with myself and how well we executed everything as a team. The boy helped put up decorations and get everything kind of straightened out. We had the best looking display there. I mean, there were other good ones, but some of them just didn't even jive with Halloween. Like, one person did a Super Mario theme, and which was nice looking, but it was little more than just a backdrop with some wrapped boxes to look like blocks. And the family did the Walmart Mario costumes. Looks fine enough, but again, when I think Halloween, I think classic spooky stuff, like give me witches and mummies and werewolves and zombies and that kind of stuff. it's very finicky with my Halloween. So it was cool to stand there and, have the kids kind of come up and around and, grab the candy. And I had just dressed up as I got one of the nameless ghoul masks. And so essentially I looked like a devil. I did a 3-piece suit, sans the jacket. So would that just be a 2-piece suit? And then wore the mask. And so everything was obscured. You couldn't see, the only skin showing was my forearms and hands. And it was fun scaring little kids and having them not want to kind of approach as you just stand there silent and intimidating and, try to be friendly, but it's Halloween. You're there to scare kids. They should be afraid. And I was very pleased with the performance. Even my boy, he's wanting to get into it. He's like, oh, Dad's being a statue, because more or less that's kind of what you do. You just stand there and you don't move unless they kind of get close, and then you move a bit. But it didn't work too well with his Captain America costume. I understand what you're trying to do, buddy, but it's not working to the same effect. But to see him kind of wanting to emulate that, or me, it's it's so heartwarming. And that was the other thing too, was they weren't sure how much candy, and we weren't sure, because it's 2 hours. First hour we got hit really hard because, one, there's 40 other families there with their own kids that are going to make the rounds, and then everybody's going to show up in that first hour usually, and it kind of tapers off. So our trunk of candy was looking very pitiful by 2:15. And we ultimately didn't run out, but there was definitely a worry about it. You could see the bottom of the trunk. And my boy, my darling, sweet baby boy, it's well, I think we're going to run out of candy. He had already gone trick-or-treating, so he just upends his bucket of candy into our trunk. And he's like, there, if people need candy, they have candy. And it's oh, God, you're so good. You're so pure. You're just this perfect little child. And like I said, we didn't run out. We didn't even have to tap into his reserves, but it kind of sucks because he had more variety because he hit more people, and so people were taking his candy that he had gotten from other cars, and he was just kind of it was decided either way, whatever's left in the trunk he gets, but he didn't have as much variety. So but it was good to see that kind of character coming out in him, you're doing the right thing and you're being a very sweet little kid. And, unlike the rest of the families that ran out, where they're just all right, fuck it, we ran out of candy, we're out, and they just kind of tore down their displays and then drove off. So by 2:40 it was looking pretty pitiful. There were only a couple cars out there, but we won a prize, for best decorated, and that was nice, and got a lot of pictures and compliments. And I guess that was kind of the reward that I wanted, where I'm getting this recognition from little kids who are scared of me, and parents oh, that looks so cool, you did a really good job on this, and let me take a picture of you, and then getting the prize at the end. So I look forward to doing it next year. I guess my little artsy crafty side came out a bit, and it was well rewarded for its efforts. I got the recognition I was seeking. But no, it was good fun. So with that all done, now we kind of are looking forward to a weekend once Rachel gets back into town of sitting around and doing kind of nothing. So right now I'm flying solo. Work has slowed down. I've got more photography up on the site. I'm going to be able to record shows in advance here to kind of have them ready to go. And things are looking on the up and up. So thank you for your patience and bearing with me. That's going to wrap this up. But like always, if you want to, shoot the shit. Email address is down in the show notes, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. And of course, this year, tell a friend. Let them know they can get the show wherever they get their other podcasts. It's 15 minutes. It's easily digestible, quick in and out. I'd like to think I provide a little bit of value and entertainment, so I appreciate those that do listen, and get your friends in on it. But that's going to wrap it up. We'll talk to you on Wednesday, but until then, blood for the blood god.